hands up. We need to discuss a very important subject. There is a story going around, and even Yasmin Crockett has referred to it in her tweet. We'll put out the video that she went with the tweet coming up because it's quite good. But the former President of the United States of America, look at his hand. Now, are there any experts here who can tell me about the marks on his hands? Now, I looked on social media, and one person said, now I'm not an expert, I'm just sharing this with you. One person said, these stains, marks, cuts, bruises, or whatever, have also been seen on Laura Loomer and Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I'm not making frivolous jokes here. The experts, James Carville being one, have suggested that this could be the S word.
If you go to the Drudge Report, and I think it'll still be up, there's a story that talks about Trump having hand cuts, and you can link to it. They don't look like cuts to me. They look like sores. And I've asked a number of MDs what medical condition manifests itself through hand sores, and the answer is immediate and unanimous: secondary syphilis. All right, I think there's a good chance this man has the clap, and I'm not being particularly secretive about it. I am texting the photo. You can link to it. It's in some operation called the Daily Mail. It's some British thing. It's probably a Fleet Street rag, but you know, maybe the picture was doctored or whatever, but maybe the story will go somewhere, maybe it won't, but I'm telling you, at 1 o'clock Eastern, I'm humping this thing like a young dog on old furniture.
So, if Trump does have the S word, where did he get it from? Okay, now, Melania Trump hasn't been visible much recently. Obviously, her mum has passed away. She's in mourning at the moment. Is there a possibility in your mind, okay, that Trump has, first of all, does have the S word? That's the first thing. Comment section, yes or no. Does Trump have the S word? Yes or no, that's all you've got to say. And if yes, where did he get it from? Now, there are many people that say the Republican Party and hand jobs are not something that go hand in hand. Ask Lauren Boebert. I'm not making a sexist comment. The CCTV backs up what I'm saying. There's also a few pictures going around of what goes on Air Fart 1. Now, you could say, that's not very funny about Yabba Hand-a-Doo, but here's the thing. A journalist needs to ask straight. It's not a personal question. You are the lawyer representing the President of the United States of America. Have you had an STD test recently? Or when was your last STD test? Because here's the thing. Let's say, for example, there have been, we'll call it horizontal conversations between the losing President of the United States of America and Alina Habba. She will have gone for a test somewhere. Now, obviously, client confidentiality, we'll never know. But you can ask the question, and it's a sort of question you can see whether the answer is yes or no. So, again, just a straight question. This is not gossip. This is not kind of trying to get clickbait. Do you think Trump has the S word? And is it something that... Also, can somebody explain to me, is it contagious? How does it... I know it's a sexually transmitted disease. It's an STD. Okay. But is it something that you can pick up as well without actually having sex, there's a word? Because I would think there's a few firemen that are possibly worried about their health, because Trump was hands-on with those pizzas, literally hands-on with those pizzas. And here's the thing. In the same way that Trump is putting stories around about, even now, Nikki Haley, about her birth and all of that stuff, saying she's not just the same garbage that came out with Obama. So it's a fair medical question to ask. Why can't we see Trump's STD results? Why can't we find out if he's had a test? You could say this is some nonsense on social media, but it's a fair question. Again, I'll ask, if you haven't answered it, do you think the former losing president has an STD? What are those signs on his hands? What do they... Can anybody tell me? Now, I've been for a test. They basically take your thing and they shove something right up there, and that's it. There's nothing shameful about an STD test. It's not something, oh, we don't want to talk about it, we want to hide it. It's a very healthy thing. He's spoken about his private life quite a few times. Take this clip from Howard Stern a way back.
Disease.
It is a dangerous world out there.
It is
scary. It's like Vietnam, sort of like, the Vietnam era.
It is your personal Vietnam, isn't it?
It is my personal
It is. You've
Vietnam.
said that many
I feel
times.
like a great and very brave soldier.
A lot of guys who went through Vietnam came out unscathed. A lot of guys who've gone through the 80s having sex with different women came out with AIDS and all kinds of things.
They survived Vietnam.
This
and
is
they
better
got
than
in the
Vietnam, but
sexual
it's...
war.
A little better, but every vagina
It's
is a
more fun.
landmine. Haven't we both said that in private?
A potential.
A potential landmine?
I think it is.
That's right. So
There's some real danger there.
when you go to a bar, do you ever go with a fleet of doctors and have them check all of the women and then party with the uninfected?
The few. You mean the few uninfected.
Yeah, go ahead. So
aren't
you
too
say to a
many.
woman, you're romantic with her, let's say you do some kissing and stuff, and then you say, listen, I don't know about you, but I really want to go all the way with this thing. Would you go visit my doctor?
I'll tell you what, it's like the whole romantic process is terrible.
Yes.
Because you meet somebody.
Right.
And you start really liking that person. And you start sort of getting warmed with that person.
Right.
And then you're really going at it. And then you say, excuse me, we have to stop now.
Yeah, like how far?
It's
like,
not like, the 70s were the best time.
Oh,
I'm old
please.
enough to have gone through the 70s.
Me too.
In the
I had
70s.
one girl during the
During the
70s.
70s.
Howard,
In
can
the
I ask
70s,
you
it was
something?
so
Yes.
Well, okay, and with this whole theory, what happens if the girl has a liaison after she sees the doctor?
Well, then you have a problem.
Yes,
the thing,
you
it's
have to
nothing is
have them
foolproof.
checked every time.
There is that. You had to say that to Donald. Now he's like, oh my God.
No, I've thought of it too.
You have thought of that. So how do you protect that? You have to follow.
You have to have a roving doctor. You have to have his office has to be in your
Doctor
briefcase.
lives with you at this point.
Dating must be.
It's a great opportunity to bring out a subject like this into the open. Right now, Yabba Dabba Doo and co are very public. Laura Trump's very public. The various female personalities on Fox are public. Let's talk about the subject. So, if he does have an STD, it's not the end of the world. There's no shame attached to it. It could be a little bit of a problem at home if he's actually got the STD as a result of having a sexual activity outside of his marriage. But that's between him, Melania, and those who love support the line of the evangelical church. If he has played away, then that's his business. Nothing to do with his capabilities as a president. I'll just put that out there. But again, let's just have another look at this hand. Is it an STD? Is it the S word? Please, don't just look, comment now. Need your thoughts, need your opinions. Does he have something? And should America find out? Because 1,000,000%, just look at Hunter Biden alone, who isn't a politician, who when I last checked isn't going to stand in the 2024 election. His sex life is literally hauled over the coals left, right and centre. There's people who run in non-stop Jim Jordan is more interested in Hunter Biden's private life than the situation with what goes on in a wrestling match years ago. So, we should be asking this question. Again, I'm not apologising for repeating myself. Take a sip of my juice here. Straight up, hand on heart. Just no more hand jokes. In your view, in your thoughts, is he carrying an STD? Yes or no? Comment section. Thank you.
Much Texas on top of Texas. Very interesting. My colleague just mentioned that we should talk about facts instead of fallacy. So I do want to make sure that we address a couple of facts, starting with the fact that Republicans claim to be pro-life, but they're anything but. Considering the fact that we just had a woman and her 2 children that died, they drowned in the state of Texas because our governor decided that federal authorities should not be allowed to actually try to save those people.
Order, Mr. Chairman, could you instruct the member to not use profanity to interrupt other members?
And can we not keep running down my time?
We'll hold your time. You'll get it back. Remind members to have decorum during the hearing today. Ms. Crockett, you may continue. Please restore 10 seconds to her time.
The fact is, these people died at our border in Texas on Friday. We are here today having a hearing, and the pro-life party does not want to talk about the fact that there was basically state-issued or sanctioned death at the Texas border. There can be nothing more inhumane than the fact that we have not even decided that we were going to discuss this on the pro-life side. But you know what? I do want to talk about some other. Thank you so much.